Hello, this is a lightning stalker. We're going to talk a little bit about MIG welding today and how you can avoid some of the problems that you can run into. If you wonder why I talk a little funny, I have a medical condition. I just wanted to say that before we got started. First of all, we're going to start off with the most important thing, which is safety. I'm not going to spend too long on it so you don't get bored and start browsing some other websites, but basically it's really important that you wear the right clothing and the right protective gear. You want a long sleeve shirt like this one to protect your arms from welding burns, from spatter burns, and from a really bad sunburn that you can get. It's really painful, so you really don't want to get that. I've had it, I know how it feels. You really don't want to get it. So anyway, also you want to have blue jeans or leather pants on. Blue jeans work good for usually pretty good. Your leather works a little better, but it's more expensive and it gets hotter. That's the only downside to leather. And most importantly, we have your welding mask. You really need to wear this, otherwise your eyeballs are going to get fried by the ultraviolet from that electrical arc. This one's auto darkening. I like those because you don't have to worry if you strike an arc by mistake of getting a flash burn in your eyes. So I just leave it down most of the time in case my welding stick or my trigger gets pulled on accident and it starts welding too soon. Then you want to wear some nice flexible leather gloves. Some people like to use deer skin, others like to use cowhide if they're welding on a really with a really thick rod or a 60-10 that gives a lot of spatter. 60-10 or 60-11, but that's more for stick welding. But you still need gloves if you're MIG welding because there's still going to be some spatter. Now, the basic equipment that you need is over here, and there's basically going to be 2 or 3 pieces to your equipment. You have your cylinder of gas, your shielding gas. I use 75-25 argon CO2. It's the easiest to get and gives you the best results. If you want more penetration, you can use straight CO2, but if you're welding on aluminum, you have to use argon. You can MIG weld aluminum, it's very popular. And you're going to need sometimes the feeder. Usually on the smaller units the feeder is built into the welder, but you don't have to. You want to probably get one of those if you're just a hobbyist. If you do some light production like I do, you want to get a slightly better with a separate feeder and power source like I have here. This is the XMT 304 power source and the S22A feeder by Miller. Both are Miller. Those are your main parts. Then you have your welding wire, which goes into your feeder or your welder if your welder has a built-in feeder. And the other part you need to know about is the gun. this is what you actually weld with, of course. This is the tip where the wire gets its electricity right here. And this is the nozzle where the shielding gas comes out. Alright, now that we've gone through all the most boring stuff, we can get on to some problems that you can run into, problems that I have run into when I am using a MIG welder.